Dude, this guy is sexy as fuck. When he's gonna make another video? Oh, hey Aquarium, Ryntek, I didn't notice you there. I guess it's time for another video. Just so you know, I've started taking fan requests at ryntek0123 at outlook.com. And from what I saw earlier, we have our first fan request. Let's go here now. This viewer says, "Hey man, love your videos. I would love if you could review Simpsons Wrestling. It is my favorite video game." Yeah, I'd like to report a sex offender. Professional wrestling is a lineage that goes back centuries, with many moments and wrestlers that have formed what we consider to be professional wrestling. And yet, despite that, none of them could have possibly ever seen Simpsons Wrestling coming. What an interesting idea for a video game. You know, you could combine probably one of the most, if not the most, popular adult animation series of all time and wrestling, which at this point was at its most popular. You know, I really wonder how this game ended up turning out. Walk with me, we're gonna go to the complaining corner. This game fucking sucks. This game is one of the most widely panned games of all time, and honestly for good reason. I fucking hate it. I generally don't understand the appeal of any of this at all. Before we even talk about the game, what's even the point of using the Simpsons IP for this? Well, you gotta remember, this was in the weird era of licensed games where you could just make a game about anything. There were kart racers, there were platformers, there was all kinds of bullshit. This generation wasn't necessarily as bad when it came to licensed games as the NES era was, or even the Atari era was, but it was still a pretty weird era. But there's only so much you can say without actually playing the game, so here's what I've gathered throughout my time playing it, God forbid my soul. So the first thing you see when you launch this game is the title screen. Now, the title screen is essentially the same exact look as the cover, with the artwork and everything. In one of the only good reviews of this entire game, Michael Laffarty for GameZone said that this game delivers what the cover advertises, and gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now I want you to remember that statement. I want you to remember that Michael Laffarty for GameZone said that this game delivered what the cover advertised. You have a few options after pressing start. You can start a new challenger circuit, you can do a defender circuit which you get after going through the whole challenger circuit, God forbid their soul, a champion circuit where everything is harder, and you can continue a previous tournament you were doing, you can do a practice game, you can versus someone, not sure why you want to involve anybody in this debauchery, and you can check out the options you can change. Just so you know, the game goes downhill from here. Upon starting up the challenger circuit, you'll notice that Michael Laffarty can kiss my fucking ass. How does this in any way deliver what the cover advertised? The cover promises this game that has a core wrestling concept, that concept being grappling and, I don't know, wrestling. It promises lifting. It promises wrestling. This is not wrestling! And do you want to know how to play this game? Ever since the beginning of time, fighting games have had a variety of combos and buttons for you to utilize against your opponents. They're not only a demonstration of power, but also of skill and strategy. Anyway, here's footage of what it's like to play Simpsons Wrestling. I don't know if you noticed this, but if I slow down the footage, you might. All I'm doing is pressing the goddamn square button! This game has no skill. There is nothing to learn. You sit down at your desk and you press the goddamn square button until your fingers bleed or until your mother invokes the Baker Act on you. Does this game truly deliver what's on the cover, Laffarty? Laffarty? Does it do that well? Does it do it so well? Here, let me change the cover so it's actually accurate. There we go. Now I feel like that better represents the game, and if you look really closely in the bottom left corner, you can even see an Easter egg that says, "Fuck you, die." After you finish a fight, you get the opportunity to give your memory card gonorrhea, and then you go into the next fight. Oh, and before I even go into the fight, there's about 5 minutes of footage where I'm just doing random things. That's because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm trying to finish the fight, and nothing's happening. I'm pressing all the buttons, it shows me on the bottom left, and nothing's happening. I think I'm going insane, and then I press the shoulder button, and I pin Krusty the fucking Clown. Where did it even show the pin button? Why is it not included in that stupid ass bottom left corner that shows all the buttons you can press? You got the taunt, you got all the face buttons, but guess what? The one thing that ends a game, that ends a round, okay? That's the one thing where it doesn't show it. You have to just press random goddamn buttons and figure out what it is. Fuck you. Why is it the one thing that carries over from wrestling? This is like barely even a wrestling game, but you have to pin your opponent. I will kick your ass, Michael Lafferty. Look, okay, I get that the reason for those buttons being there is to show you what moves you can do based on your energy level. But then, that even begs the question. What's the point of even adding an energy meter in the first goddamn place? But it's all okay. It's all okay, because at the end of the day, this will all be over soon. I must carry on for my sake and the sake of my blossoming, growing YouTube career. The next dude I fight is Homer. And Homer's alright, I guess. He's not really all that hard at all. After about 8 minutes of pressing the square button and then pressing the left shoulder button, occasionally we get the opportunity to infect our memory card with some cool new contagions. Does that shit say 3%? 3% of what? Does it mean game completion? And the value, by the way, of that percentage changes in a constant way, in a constant rate, by 3%. Okay, so if it goes at a constant rate of 3%, right, and the value we're trying to reach is 100%, right, that begs the question, how long is it going to possibly take for us to complete this game? So, if we're going to get to 100%, and the constant rate percentage is 3%, that means we have to divide 100% by 3, right? And we get 33.333, which rounded to a whole number is 33. 33 fights! I have to do 33 fights? No. No, absolutely not. This game is hell. This game sucks. It is genuinely one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. And remember, if you play Simpsons Wrestling,
you go to hell before you die.